Namaste. My appeal to the Prime Minister of this country from the Swatantra Party and GITA TV. Mr. Prime Minister, do you understand what it is to serve the armed forces? It's an emotion. Maybe a few percentage of those people come there for money, but to sacrifice their life for the nation. Today we are all sitting here safe is because of our armed forces. They guard our nation. You're playing with that. You couldn't fulfill the promise that you gave that you will give 2 crores employment. Now you made the Agni path as the employment exchange. It is not so. Not many people really come there with an emotion. Maybe a few of them, because of their financial problems and conditions, they join the army or whichever, any one of the armed forces. But most of them, at least 98% of them join there with it's an emotion. You don't have emotions because you see, you left your own wife. It's okay, you leaving the wife is not a problem, but hiding it is a problem. You might have had a lot of personal issues between you and your wife. That is your personal thing. But then when you become a public man, when you have to fill up forms, you failed, you lied. In the same way, you brought in the farm laws without any discussion. I was watching that in September, I think I stand corrected about the year, either 2019 or 20. The way you bulldozed because you had a majority. It's not like that. Why is the parliament there? Why do you have standing committees? Why do you have discussions? Then you can do everything in an autocratic manner. You just say, I am everything and go ahead with whatever you want to do. But here, especially with the recruitment of these young people, when they are 17, they are still children. 17 and a half is still children. You say that you cannot employ before 18 and then you yourself break that law. That itself shows how inefficient an administrator you are in many things. You can put a lot of drama, you can put a lot of hype to whatever you're talking. But then we also have brains. It's not that we are brainless creatures in this country. It's that many people are keeping quiet because of so many factors. But then my God says, talk up. My Kali Mata, you're talking about Kali Mata, she's my Mata too. She asks me to talk. What nonsense are you doing? Here is one guy, some Vijay Garvia over that Kailash from UP. What nonsense is he talking? Are we training up all these our Indian citizens to become glorified bodyguards and glorified security guards? Stop this nonsense talk. He looks like a thug and he talks like a thug. When I went to the border in Punjab, it is just, without my knowledge, I started crying. I don't know what was the emotion, but it is an emotional thing to see our armed forces guarding us at the borders in such terrible conditions, especially in the Sahel and other areas. You are talking that you are a poor man's son and you think making tea is not very difficult. But then the armed forces, the training that they go through, you are playing with the lives of people. If you had any sense, you would have had this discussion in the parliament, or as I already said in one of my other appeals to you, make the National Cadet Corps, the NCC, a compulsory program for all students from the high school level, from 8th standard. You don't waste the money. Already the country is in economic crisis. You don't give jobs like this. You give jobs in the farming sector and in the industrial sector and in all other places. You're killing all businesses. You're killing the farming sector and then you want to give jobs for these people for just 4 years. Are you playing with the security of the nation and then the people's lives? What for are you wasting that money? That 11 plus lakhs, whatever it is, and for the training period, that training can be done both at the school and the college level for these students via National Cadet Corps, NCC. Then the child gets matured there. Today, why these people are all behaving like hooligans? Because they don't have discipline. Their education levels are not good. Your education, the system of education in this country is rubbish. It's a trash. So don't try to play with the lives of innocent people. And then when they hit the road, this is what happened with the farm laws. For almost 1+ years, the farmers stood their ground. You had to take it with the, I don't know with what face you could talk that day, just before the UP elections. And then your president in the Tamil Nadu BJP was saying that even a comma and a full stop will not be changed, even if 5,000 years comes. Stupid fellow that he was, you within 20 days of his talking that nonsense, you repeal that law. So talk with sense, think before you talk. Just because you are in power, you don't think everybody is going to toe your line. No, this Agnipath is a flawed policy scheme. You do NCC compulsory in all schools and colleges, and that training is given by those institutions itself, and in that the best cadets you take, you select them. I am doing it in my college. I am giving them free education. And if they join the thing, I'm giving a subsidized education, and when they join the forces, I will refund that entire fees that if they have paid. I have been giving so many children of the armed forces free of cost. We don't want any medals from you. It's a feeling. It's an emotion that I am paying back my armed forces because they are safeguarding my boundaries, my borders, our country's borders. Not everyone can really, it's a feeling, it's an empathy, you have to empathize with them. But you seem to be having no empathy for anything. You are just glorified in your dressing, in your drama, in your jumlas, and announcing policies with a big bang thing like Bandbala, like that you're doing it. It's not good. You're playing with the lives of so many innocent people. From where are you going to get that 11-12 lakhs? And then in 4 years, are they going to be glorified security guards for Adani and Ambani and for Priyanka Chopra hairdressers? Stop talking nonsense. Even your other guy, that Kishan Reddy, what is he talking? And you want to talk about cleaning the system? You touch your conscience and say that you're all not corrupt and that members of your party are not corrupt. When you take the congressmen into your party, they all become Gangaputs, is it? Stop talking nonsense, Mr. Prime Minister. We're all fed up. The economy is in a mess. We are going to face very hard times very soon. I've been telling always 2023. I don't know why my God said 2023, but I said 2023. This Corona 2023 till 2030, our economy is in a mess. You got a finance minister who talks nonsense. Your cabinet ministers talk nonsense. They just want to put jalra to whatever you say. It's not correct. We were also in politics. I was. When my prime minister at that time, my party leader, whether it was VP Singh or Chandrasekhar, and if I felt something that they said was wrong, I openly said. I was never scared. Even my party men would say, oh no, you can't talk back. Why should I? We have every right. I'm not a slave to you. What is the training you've got? What administration capacity do you have? I'm seeing how Gujarat is. 12 years of nonsense. And what Gujarat model are you talking about? Come, you and me, we will both run an industry. We will see whether you're running better or I'm running better. You are forever giving concessions to all the big corporate groups. And forever your party spokesmen are talking nonsense. When you're doing something wrong, have the humility to accept that what you have said is wrong and what you're doing is wrong. To err is human, but to correct yourself is something great. But you and your party people don't seem to be having that quality in y'all at all. Enough. We've had enough of this nonsense. Announcing stupid schemes and stupid policies, and the entire country is on fire. We don't have time to waste. And these channels also sit and discuss nonsense. Nobody is talking about the economy. The economy is in such a bad mess. And Sri Lanka is not very far away. For that to happen here in any part of in any part of the world, it's going to happen all over the world. All you politicians world over have looted their nations. And COVID was just a cover up for you all. We need good leaders with good administrative capacities and capabilities. If you can't, please retire, please go. You go to be a hermit, you go to be a sannyasin, we don't mind. You are not a great administrator. You are just a Joomla master. And I'm sorry I have to say this today, because my heart hurts and my heart burns when I see all these youngsters going like this. That is because of indiscipline. You politicians teach them this indiscipline. You make them to be like this. It's only a few parts of the country that these youngsters, really all of them, have aspirations to join the army. What do you know? What feeling do you have? Where is your emotions? You seem to be so heartless. A leader should have some kind of empathy in him or her. You don't seem to be having any of those qualities, Mr. Prime Minister. Please, look back, look into your conscience and just think for 2 minutes. You're closing and doing japa. In the japa, doesn't that God tell you what you're doing is wrong? Doesn't your conscience get up and say what all you're doing is wrong? Satyam. It is what I'm saying is the truth. Please look into your conscience and then take decisions in a sensible way and not just announcing policies just for the sake of Joomla. All the industries are dying. I closed down an industry with 2,500 workers overnight because of the stupid banks, the crook banks. Or most of your banks are crooks. And 2,500 people were on the road overnight. Like that, if 100 industries are closing all over the country because of NPA, that NPA is the most stupid policy of whichever government brought in. You all don't even want to listen to the promoter. There are frauds. I'm not saying that everybody is good. The people who cheat get all the concessions from you bankers and from you politicians. The people who are honest, who don't pay you under the table, are suffering. If I can overnight 2,500 workers put like that, thousands of industries have closed down in this country for the last 14, 15 years. And especially in the last 10 years and 8 years of your regime. There is no forum where we can go and talk up. Your policies are all wrong. Your ministers are all arrogant. They think that they are the cat's whiskers. Who cares? That God will come one day to teach all of you a lesson. And I am praying for that day. I am praying to see that day. I will see. I've got that confidence. I am not a person who is negative. I am very positive. I want to see all you corrupt politicians be destroyed by nature. According to me, nature is my God. You don't think that you're going and opening Kali Mata temple, that Kali Mata is going to protect you. No. My Kali Mata is asking me to talk up, Mr. Prime Minister. Don't bring in this unity between the people in the name of religion, caste, language. All that is all your politicians' work. Most politicians are crooks. They are there to make money under the table. People of India, think for a minute before you vote for all these corrupt crooks. We are the ones who are making these corrupt crooks. If we think and vote, then this country is a great country with great resources, which is being messed up by political crooks who don't know what is administration. GITA, TV and Swatantra Party subscribers.